Hi, welcome to this DCP web tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to remove a background from an image using GIMP 2, the latest version of GIMP image editing software. And after we remove the background, we're going to replace it with a different background. So on my computer, I have this folder right here. And inside this folder, I've got two images. I've got one of this lady and I've got another one of this background. And I want to switch those images over. Remove that background from the previous image, this one, and use this background. So let's give that a go. So let's open up GIMP software. With the software open here, I'm just going to drag and drop the picture into GIMP. So here we can see the image, and the first thing we want to do is just right click on this image and add an alpha channel. We're going to right click and we're going to duplicate the layer. So we're going to have two copies. We're going to make sure the top one is selected. We're just going to click on that and it will grey out if it's selected. So if you click on the bottom one, it will grey out. So we'll click on this top one. If you don't see layers here, you need to go to Windows, Dockable Dialogues, and click Layers here. So now that we've done that, the first thing we want to do is turn this image into a grayscale. So we're going to go to Color, Desaturate, and then click Desaturate here. And that's going to turn it into this grayscale. And we can leave it on luminous should be fine. We'll click OK. And then we want to go to Colors again. And we're going to select Invert here. Invert. Now, the logic here is that everything that is in white we're going to keep, and everything that's going to be in a darker color we're going to get rid of. So the first thing we want to do really is go to color and then go to levels here, and we're going to drag from the right side here, left side. We're going to drag across and we're going to make the background darker, much darker, right? So something like this is what we want. So we want to get rid of most of this background but keep the person here, and then we need to do some work on this person to finish this off. So let's click OK here, and then we will click on our Paintbrush tool here. See the Paintbrush tool? We'll click on that and we want to switch these around. So we've got white at the top, so if we start drawing on the canvas, it's going to be white. So we want to switch it over, clicking this little option here, and that will make the brush black, and we want to enlarge the size so that we can just go ahead and just get rid of all of this stuff here. Just make it black basically. And let's make that brush a bit smaller. We increase the hardness so we have less of an edge to the brush. And sometimes you're not quite clear what we want to get rid of. Is this hair on the side here? I'm trying to work out, is this hair here or is it not hair? So we can just hide this image and we can see it's not hair. And I was thinking maybe that's a part of a hat at the top there. So if we just click on this little eye, we can move back to the original image and we can see it's actually part of the window here, and there is no hair on this side here. So we can go back in now and we know we can get rid of this bit here, right? So let's make the brush a bit smaller. We'll just get rid of this here. And then we can go to the top. Let's get rid of this. And when you're doing like fine works, when you're getting very close to the image, it's worth doing a part of the image and then letting go of your mouse button every so often, because that will hold memory So if I do Control Z, I can undo these last steps that I've done, and if I do Control Y, I can redo them. But if you just hold down your mouse and you do loads and loads of work and you happen to drag over the image by accident, it's going to be a problem for you. So make sure that you let go of your left mouse button every so often to save that as a step, and then you can move on to the next steps. So when we're getting closer into more detail, what we want to do is just use the zoom to get in a bit cleaner, right? So it's worth using the zoom and getting in and doing a clean job. So that's pretty good, really. Here you can see we've got mainly the picture of the woman now. And really what we want to do, this is what you've got to understand, what we want to do here is keep everything white. So if we were to try and remove the background now, really her face and a lot of the detail in the hands and stuff is going to get lost. So we want to make all of this silhouette, you could say, white color. So we're going to switch back to the white brush, and we're going to increase the size of the brush, and we're just going to paint all of this white. It seems a bit crazy, but we're going to get, you've got to be a bit careful here, yeah? So just do like the larger amounts quite quickly, all the main areas, get that done, and then you're going to have to go in and do a bit more detail work afterwards. So we reduce the size of the brush now, and we'll go in and do the edging last. We just want to get the main bits done first. See, I've gone over the edge a little bit here, you see? So if I press Ctrl Z, I'll only undo that part because I'm letting go of the mouse wheel, the left mouse button every so often. And if I go over the edge by accident, then I can move back. So every so often let go of that left mouse button, and that will help you to do this right. Well, if you make a mistake, you can undo it basically. So I'm gonna, normally I'll take a bit more time doing this, but I'm gonna do this a little bit rushed because I don't want this tutorial to be too long. You can see I'm just going around the edge here. You should really try and take your time doing this. The cleaner job you do here, the better the image result will be at the end. I'm going to do this as quickly as possible. Okay, it shouldn't take too much longer, so let's just make this brush a bit smaller and zoom in a bit. Let's try and work out what is on this right here. So let's you can see this is not really part of a jacket, so we need to get rid of this. Let's switch to black. So we just use the switch here. And we'll get rid of this here. Then we'll switch back to white. So yeah, to do this job properly, it does take time, but what you'll find is a better result. That's the key. Taking your time to do it right will give you a better result. And there's various ways to do this. This is not the only way to do this, but this way you've got the most amount of control. Right, we're almost done. It's really around the edging that takes the most amount of time. See what's going on here. So we'll switch back to black. We'll make this brush smaller, bigger than that. Okay, switch back to white. There's one little bit here to do. Now you could spend a lot of time doing this. I think that's going to be about good enough as an example. You go around these edges, you will really clean them up nice and clean. Just do it the best that you can. But that's what we want. We want like a white silhouette. So now, really what we'll do, let's just try and tidy this up here a bit. And that will have to do. Okay, so really what we should do before we do anything else is go to File, Save As, and we'll go to my desktop. We'll call this image01-backup, right? And it's saving it as a GIMP file.xcf. We'll save that here. So now we've got this GIMP file at this particular stage, and this is like our backup stage. So if we do anything goes wrong, we've always got, rather than having to do all that work again or do something wrong, we've got this original backup here. Now, what we can do is, let's just move this to the middle. We're gonna go to Select All. So we're going to select everything here, and then we're going to go to Select. So we're going to go to Edit and Cut. And we're going to move back down to this layer here, and we're going to right click, and we're going to add a layer mask. And when we see layer mask, we want to make sure white full opacity is selected, and we're going to click Add. And then we're going to go to Edit and Paste. There's our background removed. Now let's save this, and we'll save it as, and we'll call it version 2 now. So we've got a second version. And what we want to do is click on this floating layer at the top, and we want to anchor it. Click this anchor, and that will anchor it down to this layer here. And then we can take this image, it's actually a blank canvas now. We can take that image and we can just bin it. So let's delete it. Delete layer here. And now we can drag this image into our layers. So we're going to drag that image into the layers here. And now we've got her in a different background. And then we can use the Move tool, and we can move that image around. Maybe we'll have it like here. Something like this looks quite nice. And then we can even click on this this here. In theory, we should be able to move her as well. So we can move her about on the image. We could even do things like we can use the Resize tool right here, scale. We can click and we can scale it down. If we hold down the Shift key, we'll scale in perspective. So you can even make her bigger if you want, but we can put her about this size. And click scale. That will scale the image. We can use the Move tool. You can see she's off the canvas a little bit, so we can move her up. So maybe about here. And that's how you can go about removing a background from an image, and you're going to get pretty good effect here. Plus, if there's a lot of detail in the hair, this is a really good sort of option. You can see like the hair is transparent, right? You can see through it, through the strands. So this is a good way to get fine detail, remove a background when the image has got quite a lot of fine detail like hair and so forth. This is a good way to do this. So that's about it. Last thing we can do is maybe save this, and we can go to File, Export, and we've got a few different options. As default, it's exporting as a PNG, but we could select something like JPEG maybe. We can save it as a JPEG. Let's export it. We'll set out quite a high compression at 90%. And click Export. If we were to minimize this, and let's have a look in our folder. So here we've got the original image, here we've got the background, and then finally here we've got the images combined together. So that worked out pretty well. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you on the next DCP web tutorial.